Alright, so we got another one of those Black Clover chapters where it was close to perfection, because as a Black Clover fan, it gave me almost everything I ever wanted in a chapter. The amazing Mereoleona and Yuno team up, Asta getting back on his feet, which if you did not get hyped for that, then this chapter just was not for you. But the hypest thing about this chapter was seeing Seke. Okay, I'm joking, alright?
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, Black Clover Chapter 321 is very fitting in many ways because the title is called Excuses. Like you making an excuse why you're not subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video, and also the constant excuses that Seke has made for himself this entire chapter, because at the start of this chapter, he's seeing how massively powerful Lucifero is and how he completely destroyed each of the captains one by one with ease. So seeing the strongest group go down against the strongest being, he believes that they have no chance of winning. However, before this, Seke questions why he's even in the middle of all this craziness, and he blames the king. Because ever since Seke has saved Augustus Clover doing the elf arc but accidentally saved him, his life has been changing rapidly, becoming Augustus Clover's right-hand man and also being promoted to a vice captain rank just because Augustus Clover believes that Seke is like the strongest mage that ever existed. So given the rank and the position that Seke has, he is only in the Spade Kingdom participating in this invasion because he was sent by the king. Seke then questioned how is Yuno standing up against Lucifero, and a lot of people have been wondering why is Yuno standing up and what is this star barrier that he created. Now, one thing we can say for certain is that it operates very similar to Yami's Monozone spell when he uses Black Moon, which we can say that Yuno is possibly using Monozone for his star magic. The interesting thing though, that there is a science to stars and the pressure of gravity that's about to could be incorporating here, which goes hand in hand with this detail, which is stated, a star's life is a constant struggle against the force of gravity. Gravity constantly works and tries to cause the stars to collapse. The star's core, however, is very hot, which creates the pressure within the gas. This pressure counteracts the force of gravity, putting the star into what is called a hydrostatic equilibrium, which creates a force field of a star within the gravity's pressure. So not just anti-magic, but also Yuno's star magic is also a good counter to Lucifero's gravity magic. However, it can only go so far from what we saw in this chapter. Lucifero then gets close to Yuno, telling him, "Give me that brat," which he's referring to Asta, and he's ready to do the most disrespectful smack ever in this entire series, and Yuno used Conjunction, which teleports Mimosa, Asta, and everyone away, which they get near Seke, but also, this was very impressive because how Yuno was able to react to Lucifero quickly with his star magic. Yuno having the ability to dodge an attack from Lucifero, that is crazy. This is why Conjunction is by far my favorite spell by Yuno. Immediately, he gets into his spirit dive form and teleports behind Lucifero, which is very similar to what he did to Xenon. However, when he tried to cut Lucifero, it did not work. And he's using the power of Saint Stage, which we know by using the power of Saint Stage, you have the ability and the power to cut a devil, which purifies them and destroys their malice. However, Yuno quickly realized the reason why he cannot cut Lucifero. He is not the same as Xenon. There is a difference between these two in magic power. So Lucifero's magic power alone is so powerful that Saint Stage isn't enough to harm him. But then suddenly we get this sick moment right after where Mereoleona comes back into the fight, and she is not down. While all the captains are down and Twilight Valhalla's spell is not activated anymore, she is still present within the fight, showing that she does not need Twilight Valhalla, because while she's in her Hell Incarnate form, the longer she stays in this form, the hotter she gets, so she is getting more powerful. She's like the Hulk. Even Lucy took notice of how her magic power is rising, but I love how she called Yuno her brat number 2, which takes me back to the Hot Spring arc, because she took Asta and Yuno to train with her squad, which was showing a motivation to the squad that they need to get stronger because Asta and Yuno were the MVPs of the festival. So seeing this team up is amazing because it looks as though Yuno is using his star magic to teleport Mereoleona with him in this fight, which is very impressive. Seke realized that he can move now because of Yuno's magic. However, he is so impressed of how strong Yuno is because they all joined the Magic Knights at the same time. Him, Yuno, and Asta. But seeing the power of Yuno and how he has 2 grimoires, and also Seke finding out and hearing that Yuno is also a prince of the Spade Kingdom, he believes that Yuno was just born different. He was already born great. He was destined for it. Seke then puts on his typical comedic charm on Mimosa, saying that maybe we should get out of here. Let's make a bell for it, calling her a royal cutie and everything. But Mimosa, she's not listening. She's trying to concentrate. She even tells Seke to shut up so she can focus on healing Asta. Mimosa even admits in her own head, like, yes, she is scared and she also wants to run away and flee with Asta. However, this is not what he wants, because as a magic knight, she knows that if she were to flee, she'll be forever guilty, leaving everyone on the battlefield to fight while she runs away, especially since Asta is dying. So she's trying her best to save him, and leaving him in that state and running away, that is not a good idea. As Mimosa denies Seke, he starts to wonder why she's putting so much faith in Asta, why she's trying to save him, and he's thinking about all the times and all the interactions he had with Asta since they met. We then get a slight backstory on Seke. Back in his hometown, he was the guy. He was the one that was on top, so everyone was pretty much praising him and his accomplishments, because back in his hometown, everyone believed that Seke was awesome. But Seke still had this arrogant, cocky mindset, thinking to himself that the people in his hometown are idiots comparing their lives to his. But he also blames Asta for almost everything in the position that he's in, because if it wasn't for Asta beating him in the Magic Knight's entry exam, he believed that he wouldn't be stuck with the praying mantis, making excuses for himself and disregarding the fact that he is the one that chose Asta in that magic entry exam, because since Asta has no magic, he thought it would be easy and he would look good to be on a good team. But Seke is blaming Asta for this. But he also remembers another thing where we see a quick flashback of Asta and Seke run into each other again, and Asta even said that even though you are a jerk, you must have gotten stronger if you made it this far, so let's try our best today. But this is where things get very crazy in this chapter, because while Mimosa is trying to heal Asta, the spell breaks, meaning that ultimate magic spell that she used took a lot of magic power, which means that she does not have enough mana to heal Asta or anybody on the battlefield. But that does not matter, because even though Mimosa wasn't able to heal Asta, he stands up anyways, heading into battle, beaten down, bloody, and he's dying. He tells Mimosa thank you, on his last legs, joining the fight to help out Yuno and Sis Golion. His eyes are barely open and Mimosa is calling out to him, telling him that he needs to stop because he is in no condition to fight. But Asta is talking to himself, saying, just wait a little longer. Mimosa is begging Asta, saying please do not die, but she realized that her voice cannot reach him. Even Seke at this point is begging Asta to not go out there because he just saw all the captains get destroyed all together, so what can Asta do? But while Asta is moving forward, Seke realizes something, that he is not in the ballpark or level of Asta. There is a certain determination for Asta that Seke does not have. Seke made an excuse to leave off the battlefield because he believed that they have no chance of winning, where Asta, who has no magic whatsoever, is still moving forward like there is a chance and there is still hope. This makes Seke very emotional because he's wondering to himself, why didn't he ever try to become stronger? This changes his entire perspective, just seeing Asta continue to move forward. This also motivates him, gives him inspiration, but this makes him break down and also sad because he has been wasting his talents. Seeing Asta and Yuno, the two people that joined the magic entry exam the same time he did, they're putting their life on the line, finding the strongest being they ever seen. They have been getting stronger and he hasn't. So we see that Asta, he calls out to Yuno, saying, Yuno, I am on my way. Now what's interesting, the way this chapter ends, we see this flare of anti-magic all around Asta, while Liba is on his shoulder completely knocked out. We know how Asta's Devil Union worked. After the 5 minutes, he cannot use black form whatsoever. But when it came to Lucifero, he got beaten out his Devil Union form, so maybe there is still some reserve anti-magic power left. But Asta, he's not in the current condition to even use anything at this current moment or withstand gravity. So I'm very excited to see how the next chapter is going to be. Asta joining forces with Yuno and Mereoleona, or will somebody else intervene to stop Asta? A lot can go down. But you guys, let me know what you think about this. Check out my other anime and manga content. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, stay blessed, and we out.